Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. This is where accounting professionals just like you come to learn the most efficient and powerful ways to grow their firm, sharpen their sales skills, and have consistent increasing revenue. We cover topics from sales, networking, handling objections, negotiation, pricing, finding those ideal clients, and how to get rid of the ones that just don't suit you and how to set those boundaries so you can stop giving away your time, working for free, putting yourself on sale, and really start to get paid for the value and the worth that you bring to your clients. You'll learn tips, strategies, as well as hear others from personal interviews from successful accounting professionals. This podcast will show you exactly how to create the firm and life of your dreams full of abundance. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Our special guest is not only a client here at the Abundant Accountant family, but she is also the CEO of LEK Management Inc., which is a firm who works with business owners to build profitable businesses. She works with businesses that have at least 3 years of experience and have over $1 million in revenue, who are really frustrated and overwhelmed because they don't have the financial guidance they need in order to make informed business decisions that really can help them grow their business. And our special guest has given guidance that's resulted business owners in having the freedom and peace of mind to have a better quality life. And she has more than 20 years of experience owning her own firm. But before we welcome her to the show, what if I told you there was a way that you could work only with your ideal clients, just like she does, who value your expertise and your time within just an 8-week period without having to hound clients for paperwork or spend every night and weekend working just to keep up with things or having to sacrifice family time and freedom? And what if in just 8 weeks, you could multiply your revenue while working just 4 days a week, even if you're grinding 12, 16-hour days right now? If you want me to show you exactly how to do this, go to theabundantcall.com right now and book your call with me and my team. But now let's welcome our very special guest to the show, Lynn. Welcome, Lynn, to the show.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much for being here and taking out the time to share with other accounting, tax, bookkeeping firm owners, not only your experience of working with us here at the Abundant Accountant and going through our 8-week sales mastery and now being a part of our mastermind group, but really sharing your journey on what things were like before and where things are now. But before we get into that, could you give everyone some context, Lynn, of where you're at in the country and what does your firm focus on?
Okay, I am located in Mount Vernon, New York, which is just north of New York City. And we focus on CFO, outsourced CFO services, and tax representation.
Lovely. And when you were doing your firm a year ago or before we met, what were things like in your firm before we met? What were the biggest challenges that you were really struggling with?
Well, I think the first thing I was struggling with was I had clients that I really didn't, well, some clients that I really didn't like. And those clients ended up being the highest paying clients, right? And the frustration of having the clients that caused me to, I'm going to say, fire the clients, which put a financial strain on the company. So in light of not having these clients, I had to start looking for new clients who I actually liked, who wanted to grow their businesses, and they wanted to work, and it wasn't going to be frustrating for me and the team. Mm-hmm. So that was the biggest thing for us.
Got it. And when you had that loss of revenue and you knew you had to get new clients in, what was the thing that had you reach out for help? What was the moment you decided you needed to do something about this, where you could no longer continue going on the way things were on your own?
I'm going to say it was my bank account.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to pay myself. I was barely able to pay my staff. And that got to the point where I said that I could either go back to the same old way of business
Mhm.
or I could look for a new way of doing business. And that's what made me, reach out to you and Denise.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I'm so glad to have met you to turn things around. But I think if you can look back, and I'm sure others listening, and we hear it all the time, I don't have a lot of money in my bank account. I know I need to make a change, but yet you're going to ask me to invest time and money into something when I don't really have the money. How did you wrap your head around that when you were thinking, how am I going to make an investment, take a plunge, do this new way of doing business with that skepticism that you're reaching out for help because the bank account doesn't have any money and you can't even pay yourself? Can you share what that moment was for you and where you were in that time and how you overcame that to say, I need to leverage this investment and make a way and find a way?
Well, initially, when I got to that point where I needed help, I had to do self-assessment. And
Mm-hmm.
my self-assessment revealed that I didn't have any sales training. I knew finance.
Yeah.
I could work well. I could get results, but I didn't know how to sell. And that was the issue. And knowing that that was the issue, that's what I looked for some program or someone that could honestly teach me not just to be like a car salesperson, but to look at the needs of the client and bring that out so that they know that we would be able to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite honest, we didn't have the money.
Yeah.
We didn't have it. And I remember, during that conversation, we looked at PayPal. And of course, being in finance, the first thing you look at is the interest rate. And the interest rate, it was 28%, right? After 60 days.
six
And
months.
60 days, 6 months.
Six
Yes, you're
months.
right. 6 months. It was you're right. And the program was 8 weeks. So I'm calculating now. So if I go for this program for 8 weeks, then I still have probably another 4 months with which I can implement and be able to pay off that debt and not incur that interest rate, that
Right.
fee. And, I have to say that one of the things that I had to do was I had to resign myself to listening to what I was being told to do,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And that I think, believe it or not, was the hardest part for me in the entire process.
And how did it work out for you being able to sit back and just listen, even though it was the hardest thing for you to do? What were some of those immediate results that you had in your firm after you made the investment, you got the financing option, you leveraged it? What were some of those immediate results that you had in your firm so far?
Well, the first thing was I was giving away a lot of information that I should have been paid for, that being tax planning, right?
Yeah.
And I remember uh, I set up my first call with an existing client, and I remember on that call, I kept saying, okay, I have to ask for the sale. I have to ask for the sale. And I'm hearing you in my head. You have to ask for the sale, right? And we're right there. We're right there. And finally, I said, no, I have to take this plunge. And I was able to secure my first tax plan at $20,000.
So amazing. Where before that was being done for $0. And so, what were some of the lessons that you learned, Lynn, in going through the process, making the decision to leverage an investment, having this finance background, instead of saying, oh, well, I'll make the money first and then I'll come and do this, where you said, no, I can't. I actually need to dip into something, find money, make that drastic plunge on that end as well and take the risk. Even though you had a 6 month leeway, you bet on yourself that this was going to work. What were some of the lessons that you learned making all of the decisions and being able to step back and just say, okay, I'm going to listen and implement whatever they tell me?
Well, I mean, the first lesson was that I actually had to believe in the process, right?
Mhm.
There were a number of people who had gone through the program before who had the results, right? And they did what everything they were told to do. And I think that was, again, the biggest thing, just believing in the process. The other thing is that I had to believe in my ability because with talking to a client, you
Mhm.
have to have that self-assurance because it comes out in your voice, right? So that was the other thing that I had to learn that, I knew my value and I had to be able to communicate that. So that was the another important piece. And then the other thing was the value that I brought to the clients. That I think was another key part of the program, understanding the value, understanding what I've done to prepare for my career, you know, for the last 20 years, and knowing that I bring value and therefore whatever the clients are paying me for what I'm bringing to the table, they're getting way more than that.
And when you think about the program now versus when you had no idea what we did, who we did, you just had one conversation with us and you made the decision to do something different because of your bank account and knowing that you couldn't continue going down that path. What would you share with your younger self right now, a year ago or 6 months ago?
I would have, and you know that I did all my homework, it was on time, but I actually feel like I would have put additional effort into my homework because it does make a difference. And every time I sat down and I put pen to paper because I do write more than I type, I felt the change. I felt the change in me and how I perceive what I'm doing.
Mm.
So I would actually just put a little bit more effort, well, a lot more effort into doing the homework.
Wow. I love that. And I think you've had such an, profound impact on your firm with what you did. But the beautiful thing, Lynn, is you can redo it and keep enhancing your homework. So you can still continue that. You can still continue that.
Well, that's
What
good.
did you like best about our program that you would love to share with other firm owners that might have tried a lot of other programs, spent thousands of dollars on other things, books, YouTube videos, trying to figure out how to do their business better and figure out the sales element, or maybe not even think they have a sales problem, where in reality they think they just need more clients when that's not the truth. What do you would you like best about the program?
I like the support that I received from you and Denise, and I really enjoyed the no nonsense approach. Um, yes, you are straightforward. You don't sugarcoat, and that is good. All right. Even when we start talking about pricing, right? Or we start talking about, well, we spoke to this client and this client said, well, I'm not ready yet. You were every time you made a suggestion and I implemented that suggestion, I got positive results. And you were willing, there was never a question that you didn't address, whether it was mine or someone else on the group. And if we didn't have time, there was always the following week. So that support really made the difference. And just not just the support, but the quality of the information being given.
Mhm. Yeah, no, thank you for that. And, seeing how far you've come and changing all of the pricing and not having accounts receivable anymore and getting paid up front and not doing any work for free and getting paid significantly high premiums from your clients in delivering the utmost value that you do for each of them. How do you feel now, Lynn, versus where you felt before? And maybe we want to start with how you felt before when you looked at your bank account and said, I'm not paying myself. I have no money. I have to change. How did you feel then? And then how do you feel now?
Well, I can tell you frustration is the biggest word or was the biggest word in my vocabulary at that point. Um,
Frustration?
Frustration. I felt underappreciated.
Mm.
Um, like there was no hope, right? Because I kept giving my best and it just didn't reflect in my bank account. Now, I'm going to say, believe it or not, it's tax season and I have peace of mind because I have the clients that I want to have. My bank account is definitely reflective of that. And I'm optimistic about what the future will bring.
Love it. And when you think about the future and that you have peace of mind and calm and tranquility during what used to be the craziest time of the year and it's completely not anymore. What do you see as the vision for your firm and now and your life? I know you wanted to have more fun and enjoy life, and I think that's a big thing for a lot of firm owners. I mean, how many of us in the past for you started to resent the clients, resent the work, and then you were just like angry and frustrated all the time, never going on vacation, working way too many hours for too little pay, and not having fun is what you shared with us. What do you see now for not only your firm, but for you personally?
Well, the first thing is that I can actually take a vacation and a
Mm.
vacation that I want, not one that I have to take because I have to improvise, right? So that is definitely a big thing, big
What does that look like? The one that you want versus what you were improvising?
well, the first thing is that I'm going to be flying first class. So that is definitely, yes, yes, definitely, especially since I'm a little claustrophobic. So that makes a big difference, which means that now I can travel further. So I'll actually enjoy trips to Europe right now.
Mm,
So I do like that. I am definitely looking to buy a new home, which I'm going to call my sanctuary.
mm,
And that, I'm definitely going to have that by next year.
nice.
Um, I am buying property this year also, so it's definitely opened up a number of opportunities for me that I am
Oh,
taking advantage of.
I am so happy. I got
Yes.
goosebumps. I'm like, ooh, flying first class. You're gonna have a sanctuary. That's gonna be your
Mhm.
home. I love this.
Mhm.
I can just imagine what that looks like, and I don't even
Yes.
know what it looks like. But when you get your house, I want a photo to
Oh,
see if
I
it
will.
aligns with my vision.
Definitely.
How else do you feel now? Making these changes, you're in our mastermind program, you're continuing on investing in yourself and coaching. Share with what's possible and how you feel now. And did you even think this was even possible for you?
Well, what I will say and what I do love about the mastermind group, because the 8-week program I think is excellent, but I think it's just a start, right? Because in this program, one of the key things about this program is not just about a process, it's about a mindset shift, a mindset in terms of how you view yourself, how you view the clients, and how you view your business.
Mm,
And then after you have that, now you need to practice. And there's so many situations that can come up that you cannot deal with in 8 weeks, that the mastermind really creates that environment to address those situations that could really increase your revenue exponentially. So right now, I'm actually excited to have our weekly meetings on the mastermind group because you know that I bring all kinds of questions.
I love it.
Yes, I bring all kinds of questions. I bring some of my videos in. Other members bring some of their videos in. We look at it, we talk about it, and it's always in such a judgment-free zone that everyone
Mhm.
gets value out of it. So right now, to me, I cannot even explain it. I just think that everything is up for grabs right now. There's nothing that's limited right now.
So you
Yes.
feel free
Free,
and
definitely. And at peace.
at
Peace is
peace.
a good word, yes.
And Lynn, what words of wisdom would you have for a firm owner who might be in your shoes, just like you were 6 months ago, looking at their bank account, sick to their stomach, thinking, I know finance, I know accounting, I know bookkeeping, I'm so smart. I have an MBA, I have a CPA, I'm an EA, I've got all of these things, yet I still feel kind of broke. And how can I keep going this way? What words of wisdom do you have for someone listening right now that you wish you would have heard? And maybe you didn't hear it in any of our testimonials or reviews or on our Google review page, but you want to share with that person today that you think they might need to hear?
Well, I think first of all, they need to take self-assessment and really the at least for me, my challenge wasn't not knowing the business being finance. My challenge was not knowing sales and marketing. And once you know where you're lacking, at least for me, it allowed me to say, if I need to be better, if I want to grow this business, if I want a better quality of life, then I need to invest in something that is going to give me some type of return. And it wasn't just about paying the money. That, believe it or not, that's the easiest part. It's about making the commitment to follow the program, to attend the calls, to do the homework, to speak up in the class in those meetings and allow yourself to be vulnerable and allow yourself to get feedback so that you can grow. So that's what I would say to someone when in this program, and you and I have had this conversation before. If you're not going to invest in it, then don't do it. But if you're going to come in and make that commitment, it's 8 weeks before you know it, it will be gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't even believe when it was my last class, you said, okay, Lynn, this is your 8 week. I said, what? Couldn't believe it. But it goes by so quickly, but the support is there. So just make the commitment. And as crazy as it would sound, because it is something new, try it. You'd be amazed at what would happen.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Lynn. And it's just been an honor to see your journey. And I look forward to coaching you until you have your home sanctuary picked out and enjoy those first class trips to Europe and all of your vacations that you are booking right now. And I'm just so proud of the work that you've done. Is there anything else that you'd love to share today with the listeners that maybe we didn't touch on that you definitely want to share?
What I would like to say to them is that if you're having challenges with your business, and if we look at the economic times, is a difficult time, they need to really have a conversation with you, and they need to make that plunge, and they need to make that commitment. It will make a difference.
It will. Thank you so much, Lynn, for taking out the time to share your story and your experience and being here with us today on the Abundant Accountant podcast. It's an honor to have you.
Well, thank you for sharing your knowledge with me. I appreciate that.
You're most welcome. Thank you all so much for joining Lynn and I here on another lovely, amazing episode here at the Abundant Accountant podcast. And if I could tell you that there was a way that you could do this just like Lynn did and work with those ideal clients who value your expertise, but also get actually paid for every single thing you do and multiply your revenue while just working 40 hours a week. And not only that, I'll show you how to do all of this in a way that feels simple, effortless, and automatic, so you barely even have to think about it. Because this is the same system that not only I showed Lynn, but I've shown hundreds of other tax, accounting, and bookkeeping firm owners just like you who have used it to create thriving firms that they've only dreamt of having. If you want me to show you exactly how I showed Lynn and other firm owners, go to theabundantcall.com and book a call with me and my team right now. Once again, that's theabundantcall.com, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you in the next episode.